What's going on, y'all? It's your boy No Cutter, and I'm back again with another one. I need you guys to do me a favor, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification icon for more videos like this. That being said, let's get into it. Terence Crawford speaks to and Barak on their show. He had a lot to talk about. I'm going to break down everything he had to talk about because everything they were talking about was very interesting. He's actually friends with those guys, even though they're interviewers. But he's friends with and Barak. He said he's hung out with them. They went to the club together. They're close friends outside of interviewing. That's why he was so comfortable to be able to joke around with him, have a conversation with him. And I like interviews like that where Bud don't feel like he gotta, like, I'm not gonna say shell up, because a lot of people say, man, Crawford's not charismatic. He's a dull guy. That's the word they use a lot. They say he's so dull, meaning like he don't like to open up. Like he's just always serious. He don't joke around. He's a great fighter, but I read one comment one time. This was I think it was a couple years back. Somebody said Terence Crawford is a great fighter, but he has a personality of a rock. Oh man. Oh my gosh, bro. The internet is crazy, bro. If you listen to the internet, you gonna go crazy, bro. You read all these comments, it's ridiculous, man. I promise y'all. Stay off the internet, man. The internet is crazy, man. They said Crawford is a great fighter. So, how you give the man a compliment and then disrespect him in the same breath? You compliment me and disrespect me at the same time. How do you expect me to take that? You just complimented me and then disrespected me, bro. What? They said Crawford is an all-time great fighter, but he has the personality of a rock. I said, wow. That's wow. You know, I mean, it is what it is. You know, like I said, this interview is a great interview. People are going to believe what they want to believe. I don't think Crawford's personality is all that bad. I feel like Crawford could open up a little bit more. You know, I think he's just not like everybody else, meaning like he's just an old school guy. He don't want to fit in with the crowd. One of his biggest advice for people is be yourself. He says he gives that advice to his kids all the time. Be yourself. So I respect that from Bud Crawford. Some people don't rock with that. They want him to be like a millennial, or Gen Z, whatever. They want him to open up more or whatever. That's not Bud. He still has those old school values instilled in him or whatever the situation is. So me personally, I can't knock it. He's my favorite fighter. I don't have a problem with whatever he says or his personality. I never had a problem with any of that. Bud is Bud. It is what it is. But anyway, like I said, these people are his friends, so it's easier. It's like he feels like he's not being interviewed. He's having like a normal conversation, so he can open up to these guys. But the point of this video is the fact that and Barak, they talked about, when they first started the interview, they talked about Crawford and his link up with Shannon Sharpe. I said Shannon Sharpe. Former football player. He's huge. Big guy. Former football player. Weighs over 200 pounds. They said, how do you feel right now? Because we seen you wrestling Shannon Sharpe. Why I keep calling this guy Shannon Sharpe? Shannon Sharpe. We seen you wrestling, fighting Shannon Sharpe. Are you sore? Did he beat you up? And Bub was like, beat me up. He said in a real fight, he wouldn't even get close to me. So, I just want to paint the picture for casual boxing fans or just people that don't know anything about combat sports. Bud Crawford's been training since he was 7 years old on how to defend himself. Forget about training since he was 7 years old. He's been boxing his whole life, street fighting and boxing. So from 7 to 37, that's 30 years, right? 30 years of experience versus Shannon Sharpe, who I believe he's way older than Bud Crawford, right? You're telling me Shannon Sharpe has a chance against somebody like Bud Crawford, not only one of the best fighters in the world, but the best fighter in the world, boxing. One of the most dangerous sports in the world, if not the most dangerous sport, because these guys, people die in the ring. Boxing, more death in boxing than any other sport, I believe, right? You're telling me that a former football player, because he lifts weights and he's explosive and he played football, stands a chance against the number one pound for pound fighter in the world just because the number one pound for pound fighter is smaller? Are you serious? Some people, if you really ask who will win in a fight, Terence Crawford or Shannon Sharpe, some people say Shannon Sharpe's too big. People equate being big to being better or like more. I don't understand how do people mindset work. Just because a guy's bigger doesn't mean he's going to win the fight. They do that in boxing too, and that's that's crazy too. They say, oh, he's bigger. Like, for example, Crawford versus Canelo. Canelo fought these bum fighters recently. Bumlanga went 12 rounds with Canelo, but somehow boxing fans are saying Canelo's going to knock out Crawford. He went 12 rounds with freaking Bumlanga, who's never been a world champion, never will be a world champion. He's not even that good. He's not good at all. Canelo was bruised up after that fight. Yes, some of you guys are saying Canelo can knock out Crawford, who's 10 times better than that guy, all because that guy is bigger than Crawford. You think that's how fighting works? You think that's how boxing works? Isn't it about skills? Why are people so stupid when it comes to the sport of boxing? It's your boy No Credit. I'm out, man.